Everyone thinks Google is losing the smartphone war. After all, Samsung ships hundreds of millions of phones every year. Apple dominates the premium market. Chinese brands compete aggressively on price. And Google's Pixel, it still owns only a tiny slice of the global market. On paper, it looks like a failure. Yet every year, Google spends billions developing new Pixel devices, designing custom chips, and introducing AI features long before anyone else. For a company known for making data-driven decisions, that doesn't make much sense, unless we've been measuring the wrong thing. What if Google never expected Pixel to become the world's best-selling smartphone? What if these phones were never meant to beat Samsung or Apple in sales? Because hidden behind every Pixel launch is a strategy that has far less to do with smartphones and far more to do with controlling the future of artificial intelligence. And once you see that strategy, you'll never look at the Pixel the same way again. To understand Google's plan, you first have to forget everything you think you know about the smartphone business. Most manufacturers compete using the same playbook. They build faster processors, brighter displays, larger batteries, and better cameras. Every year, the goal is simple: sell more phones than last year. Google plays a completely different game. Unlike Samsung or Apple, Google's biggest business has never been hardware. Its real business is information. Every Google search, every YouTube recommendation, every Gmail email, every Maps route, and every photo stored in Google Photos helps the company understand how billions of people live, think, and behave. That information has powered Google's advertising empire for decades. Then AI changed everything. Artificial intelligence suddenly became the next major technology race. But building the smartest AI isn't only about creating powerful models, it's about giving those models access to real-world human behavior. That's where most people misunderstand Pixel. Google didn't build Pixel because it wanted another smartphone brand. It built Pixel because it needed the perfect home for its AI. That decision became much clearer in 2021 with the introduction of Tensor, Google's custom chip. At the time, many reviewers criticized it for lagging behind Apple's A-series chips and Qualcomm's Snapdragon processors in raw performance. On paper, they were right. But Google wasn't chasing benchmark scores. Tensor was designed for something much more valuable: running AI directly on the device. Suddenly, your phone could screen spam calls before you answered them. It could translate conversations in real time. It could remove unwanted objects from photos with a single tap. It could summarize voice recordings, recognize speech more naturally, and process language without constantly relying on cloud servers. To most users, these looked like convenient features. To Google, they were something much bigger. Every interaction became another opportunity to improve artificial intelligence in the real world. Millions of people using AI every single day, not inside a laboratory but in their pockets. That's an advantage very few companies can replicate. OpenAI builds incredible AI models, but it doesn't manufacture smartphones. Microsoft develops AI, but it doesn't control Android. Meta has billions of users, but it doesn't own the operating system inside your pocket. Google does. Pixel gives Google something incredibly valuable: a direct connection between its AI software and the device people carry every day. And that's why Pixel doesn't need to dominate the market. It simply needs to influence it. Think about it this way: when Apple releases a new iPhone, the headline is usually about hardware. When Google launches a new Pixel, the conversation quickly shifts toward AI. Gemini, Magic Editor, Call Screen, Circle to Search, Live Translate. The phone itself is almost secondary. Pixel has quietly become Google's showcase for what artificial intelligence can actually do. And that strategy is becoming more important as the smartphone market slows down. For years, Android brands competed by offering better specifications for lower prices. But today, phones last longer, manufacturing costs continue to rise, and consumers upgrade less frequently. Winning with hardware alone has become increasingly difficult. Google saw that shift years ago. Instead of joining an endless battle over processors and megapixels, it invested in software that competitors couldn't easily copy. The result isn't necessarily the fastest phone. It's one of the smartest. And perhaps that's exactly what Google wanted all along. Because the future of smartphones may not belong to the company with the most powerful hardware. It may belong to the company with the smartest ecosystem. Every pixel sold introduces another user to Google's AI. Every software update strengthens that ecosystem. Every AI feature encourages users to rely a little more on Google for everyday tasks. Over time, those habits become incredibly difficult to replace. That's the hidden strategy. Google isn't trying to win the smartphone race. It's trying to become the default AI assistant for billions of people. And the Pixel is simply the vehicle carrying that strategy into the real world. One phone at a time. So maybe the biggest mistake we can make is judging Pixel by its market share. Because if Google's real goal was never to outsell Samsung or Apple, then the scoreboard we've been watching doesn't tell the whole story. The real competition is no longer about smartphones. It's about who will define the next generation of artificial intelligence. And if Google succeeds, the Pixel may not be remembered as the phone that won the smartphone war, but as the device that quietly helped Google win something far bigger. If you enjoyed this documentary and want more deep dives into the hidden strategies behind the world's biggest companies, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Until next time, thanks for watching.